Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June meeting of the Trumbull Town Council. Would everybody kindly rise for a moment of silence and to recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Call the roll, please.
Mike Buswell.
Here.
Mary Isaac. Here. Michael Colohan.
Here.
Bill Mecca.
Here.
Ann Sather.
Here.
Jennifer Winchell.
Here.
Veronica Lenzen.
Here.
Richard Wolf.
Here.
Jason Marsh.
Here.
Anthony Dorsey.
Here.
Ashley Gaudiano.
Here.
Carl Massaro.
Here.
John Foreman.
Here.
Joe Pivko.
Here.
Scott Wick.
Here.
Joy Cologne.
Here.
Steve Lemoyne.
Here.
Kelly Malazzi.
Here.
Tony Cinto. Nicole Satin.
Here.
All right, council members, you have copies of minutes from our May meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Take the motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, amendments? All right, can we adopt those by unanimous consent? Objections? Okay, those are adopted. Before we start public comment, I just wanted to advise everyone that items 8, 9, and 10 are on our agenda were held in committee. Those deal with the Community Senior Center. And there are revisions to the design and cost estimates that are undergoing some review, and we expect that they'll be ready for us for consideration at our July meeting. We also have on our agenda item 3, which is a grant requiring a public hearing. If you want to speak to that grant, you can wait till I call the public hearing when that resolution is brought to the floor, or you can speak now if you would like. Those are my announcements, so we'll go with public comment, and I have one gentleman signed up, Mr. Nate Gross. Kindly give us your name and address, please.
Hi, Nick Gross.
Press the button at the bottom.
Hi, Nick Gross, for Kendberry Lane. Speaking on resolutions 149 and 150. I'm very glad to see that the Hillcrest project is starting to move forward, and I am strongly in support of these resolutions. I do hope that the council will consider looking at ways to save costs on the Hillcrest project, given that there are potential other costs for our town coming up in the future. So I hope that when this project moves forward, that it moves forward very efficiently, and I hope that we see the new Hillcrest building start very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gross.
Turn this off.
Yes, please. Good, thank you. I have nobody else signed up. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to make a comment on any item on our agenda other than the Community Senior Center resolutions? If not, okay, then I will close public comment. And we will move to our first resolution, TC 30-144. Ms. Satin, would you bring that to the floor, please?
Sure. Resolution TC 30-144, be it resolved that blank being the same is hereby designated as a, can I fill that in yet? Nope. Okay. As a District 7 Democrat Town Council representative for a term extending to the first Monday of December 2025. Democrats only will vote.
Second.
Thank you. We have an amendment.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I move that we amend Resolution TC 30-144 to insert the name of Thomas Whitmoyer in the blank.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on that?
We're thrilled Tom is coming back to join the fun.
I've lost count.
He may have too. He will grace us with his presence at the July meeting.
And we'll be happy to have him back. All right, so we'll have Democrat caucus vote on the amendment That unanimous consent, I assume? Yes, okay. So you have your resolution as amended. Any further discussion? There's no such thing as retirement. All right. What's your pleasure? Adopt by unanimous consent as amended? Okay, great. Where is he?
He's not here tonight. He will grace us with his presence in July. He needed one more night to get
To tell his
prepared
wife
to
he was
come
coming
back.
back?
We haven't told him yet.
Okay. I thought the news spread fast around here, but okay. Well, we'll welcome Tom back. Happy to have him here. All right, we have our second item then, Resolution TC 30-145. Mr. Marsh?
Mr. Chairman, we're not ready to move forward on this resolution, so I'd ask that we send it back to committee, please.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay, we all in favor with that? Unanimous consent? Okay, so that will be returned to committee. That will take us to item 3, Resolution TC 30-146. Ms. Lorenzen, would you bring that to the floor, please?
Sure. Resolution TC 30-146, be it resolved that the application of the State of Connecticut Department of Revenue Services, DRS, for the Neighborhood Assistance Act program is hereby authorized to include the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Connecticut for $32,500, Mutual Housing Association of Southwestern Connecticut for $126,000, St. Vincent's Medical Center for $150,000, and Aspire Living and Learning for $40,000, and that would authorize First Selectman Vicky A. Tesoro or her designee to submit such application and sign all related forms, contracts, and reports in order to implement the Neighborhood Assistance Act program. Full resolution attached. Public hearing June 2nd, 2025. Town Council.
Second.
Thank you. Committee report, Mr. Pifko, please.
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. Gia Mentillo, Economic and Community Development Commission clerk, was present on behalf of her department to request authorization to apply for the State of Connecticut Department of Revenue Services for the Neighborhood Assistance Act program. There are 4 applications: Make-A-Wish Foundation of Connecticut, Mutual Housing Association of Southwestern Connecticut, and there are 2 applicants: St. Vincent's Medical Center for their swim patient assistance program. The other new applicant is Aspire Living and Learning, which serves special needs adults. The motion was carried unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Pifko. Before we have discussion on the resolution, I will open the public hearing as required for this grant at 7:42 and ask if anybody would like to step forward and speak about this resolution and this grant. God bless you. This is, I will speak to it. This is an annual application that's made in annual grants for nonprofits, and we're happy to have some new applicants this year and hope that the state will approve this grant in full for all of them. Anybody like to speak to this? If not, I will then close the public hearing at 7:43. And we have the motion on the floor. Gio Mentillo is with us tonight. Do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add other than I'm here to answer any questions that anybody might have.
Any questions? All right. Then we will proceed to vote on Resolution TC 30-146. Can we adopt this by unanimous consent?
Yes.
All right. And the resolution is adopted. I'll ask Ms. Mentillo, do you need emergency legislation? No. Okay. All right. Let's see. Can we take items 5, 6, and 7 out of order? Can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Thank you. All right. So let's take item 5, Resolution TC 30-148. Ms. Cologne, could you bring this to the floor, please?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. Resolution TC 30-148, Be it resolved that the town attorney is hereby authorized to settle a workers' compensation claim known as Keith Golding, estate of Keith Golding, and Angela Golding versus the town of Trumbull.
Second.
Thank you. Committee report, Mr. Pifko.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the LNA Committee entered executive session at 7:21 with the following people present: LA Committee members, myself, Mike Buswell, Vice Chairman Steve Lemoyne, Victoria Levson, Ashley Gardano, Tony Cinto, alternate Nikki Satan, alternate First Selectman Vicky Tesaro, Chief Executive Officer Cynthia Katsky, Town Attorney Daniel Shopik, Town Council Chairman Carl Massaro, Director of Labor Relations Thomas McCarthy, and Attorney Michael Buena-Payne of McCain, Bartlett, and Brown. It was voted, motion was carried unanimously.
All right, thank you. We have Human Resources Director Tom McCarthy to answer questions. This is pending litigation, so if you want to discuss any detail, we'll have to go to executive session.
Yes.
Is there anything you need to update us with, Mr. McCarthy?
Nope, nothing new.
Nothing new? Yeah, good. Good. All right, then. Can we adopt this resolution by unanimous consent?
Well done.
No objection, thank you. Do you need emergency legislation?
No.
No,
Thank you, though.
I didn't think so. Thank you. We'll move to item 6, resolution TC 30-149. Mr. Colohan, could you move this to the floor, please?
Resolution TC 30-149, be it resolved that Bismarck Construction as construction manager is hereby approved as the construction manager for the Hillcrest Middle School replacement project as recommended by the Hillcrest Middle School Building Committee.
Second.
Thank you. Committee report, Mr. Pifko.
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. Andrew Lubin, Hillcrest Middle School Replacement Building Committee Vice Chairman, explained the Building Committee has vetted the entities for this resolution and the next, and have it and unanimously selected each of the professionals for the building of the school. Bismarck was one of the lowest qualified responsible bids and has the benefit of being local to Trumbull. The committee thinks that the combination of responsibility and locality is going to be a tremendous benefit. The original plan was to try and get the school open by the fall of 2027, but that interviewed architects. As they interviewed architects, it became apparent that none of them were suggesting that it was a possible goal. There's just too much to do. The school could be ready before Christmas, and the kids would move in January of 2028. After they moved in, the existing building would be taken down, but this all depends on delivery of supplies and timing. At this time, they are planning on breaking ground spring of 2026, but they will only just hired the architect and don't have the plans or construction manager yet. It is very difficult to predict. The motion was carried as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Pifko.
Chairman Massaro, do we need to make a motion to amend the resolution because incorporated isn't in there and construction manager is listed twice? We did it at LNA, but I don't know if we need to do it.
Yes, we do need to do it here.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we amend the current motion to add incorporated after Bismarck Construction and strike the first phrase as construction manager.
Thank you very much. Any discussion on it? Friendly amendment. All right, we adopt that by unanimous consent. All right, thank you. It's adopted. We have the resolution as amended. Any other discussion? All right, we adopt resolution TC 30-149 by unanimous consent as amended. All right, it is adopted. Move to item 7, resolution TC 30-150. Ms. Malazzi, could you bring that to the floor, please?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. Resolution TC 30-150, be it resolved that Arcadis US, Inc. is hereby approved as the owner's project manager for the Hillcrest Middle School replacement project as recommended by the Hillcrest Middle School Building Committee.
Second.
Committee report, please, Mr. Pifko.
Certainly. Andrew Lubin explained that unlike the construction manager, who is responsible for retaining all the contractors and supervises construction, the project manager is the town's eyes and ears for the project. They're going to interface and ensure that the money received back from the state is all accounted for and will interface with the general contractor and report back to the committee. Joe Costa, chairman of the building committee, has built 50 schools and is very much in favor of Arcadis because they have a tremendous respect with the state. They will be very helpful. Last Thursday, all the professionals that they have to date met the town reps, architect, and Bismarck. The building committee will meet on Tuesday and have a report on that meeting from the architect. Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Pifko. Don't think we have anything to amend on here. Any discussion? Well, we'll vote on this in a second. I'm just happy that this building committee has been able to get really 3 prominent professionals to design and construct and oversee this project for the town. And while some of us may vacation this summer, they're going to be very hard at work getting those preliminary plans drafted. And we're happy that they have an ambitious schedule to deliver middle school. And we'll do everything we can to support them. So any other question or discussion on this? And then we'll call for a vote. Can we adopt this resolution, TC 30-150, by unanimous consent? All right. Good. I think that leaves one item left. Number 4, resolution TC 30-147. Mr. Wolf, can you bring this to the floor, please?
Resolution TC 30-147, be it resolved that the town of Trumbull hereby defers the implementation of the revaluation of real property required for the assessment year commencing October 1st, 2025 until the assessment year commencing October 1st, 2026. For resolution attached.
Second.
Thank you. Committee report, Mr. Pifko, please.
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. Attorney Shopik explained this is the same process that was used for the last evaluation. Last week, the legislature passed the authorization to allow this procedure to take place. The tax assessor's office is not prepared to have the 2025 reevaluation. The town doesn't have an assessor. The timing doesn't work. The town went to the legislature, and this was approved, but their approval under statute is subject to town council authorization. Reevaluation companies have been interviewed over the past week. The town will be able to award the contract shortly. The motion was carried unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Pifko. Do we have further presentation on this or discussion? Attorney Shopik.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that the committee report summarizes the situation, and we would also ask that this be made emergency legislation, assuming that it's passed, so that we can move forward.
I have one question. There indicated in committee that bids or interviews went out for companies who do the revaluation.
Yes.
What's the schedule for retaining one of them, given that this might get postponed a year?
Well, they anticipate going to work almost immediately. The process in terms of doing some of it has to be done door to door, appointments made with property owners. Some of it is done on basically with the utilization of schedules that they have based in that are that they're required to use. Right. In other words, taking the former the old evaluations, applying a formula to them to a certain extent, utilizing the information that they get from the actual appraisals. But that's going to start right away. So as soon as we can get this going, we would award the contract and get moving.
Okay, thank you. Other questions, Mr. Cinto?
When was the last time a door-to-door assessment was done where somebody would actually come to the house?
They do.
Sometimes they just do like, okay, we're gonna do 20% or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think I think it's required, and I can't tell you exactly when it's required. I know it's required at some point, but we're not at that point yet. We do need to do some door-to-door. When I say door-to-door, we don't go to your street and start knocking on every door. The letters would go out, appointments would be made, and it would be set up so that the people were there. And I think, so I can't, I don't know when the last time we did a full revaluation like that, but it's not required this year. No. We do some, but it's not required to do every household.
So they could just hypothetically say, everybody's probably on 5% or something.
They can't really do that because some of it has to be done with actual appraisal. And there are formulas and people who are doing this are appraisal companies who do revaluation work. So it's not just, let's just add 5%. On average, it could work out that way. We also have the difference in residential and commercial. And we have a lot of commercial property in the town that also has to be valued. So it is a big job.
Ms. Satin?
Hi, thanks, Dan. How do they determine, what is the criteria to know whose door they have to knock on and who's within that?
I think it's done fairly randomly. I haven't gotten into that kind of detail with them, but you would take certain types of neighborhoods. You're not going to do everything, and you take three blocks in Tashua and say that represents the whole town, or something like that. So that they have to do a certain cross-section of the community. But how they choose the particular homes that they go to, I can't tell you. I don't know.
Mr. Dorsey?
If we were to push this a year, what's the impact to taxes, property values, et cetera? Could this be a double hit for homeowners if we wait a year?
I don't see how that, we did this the last go-round, and what happens is, so let me answer part of it first. We're using the existing values from last year and for the last few years. So those existing values carry through to this year, and the mill rate that the Board of Finance is going to adopt is going to be addressed through the present valuations in the homes and the commercial property. If so as happened last time, and again, this is the second go-round where we had to go with this. This revaluation now is going to last for 4 years, not for 5. All right, so it comes back to, if we're not doing 2025 list, we're going to do 2030 list. We're not skipping 2026 and therefore going to 2031. So we'll catch up on it.
Ms. Goniano?
Thank you. Dan, is there an opportunity when a company is hired to bring them in for some sort of presentation around how the process works, answer the questions that are being asked around how do you identify which doors you knock, so that we take some of the myth out of what the revaluation process looks like and people can gain a better understanding so that when we get new valuations, maybe people are a little bit more exposed to the process that we went through to get those numbers.
I'm sure they'll love to do it.
I didn't say that they would love to. I asked if it was possible.
We will ask them to, yes.
Ms. Sather.
So my question is, and I don't know if you have the answer, but I'm just putting it out there. There's a shortage of tax assessors in the state. Am I correct on
For
that?
sure.
Is there, like I said, I don't know if you can answer this.
Do we have somebody ready to hire? No.
No. That you, well, because you could answer that. Is there something that, not us, but someone at the state legislature or something can do to expedite, like encourage more people to be tax assessors? Like when there's a teacher shortage, there's like, hey, you could do this, but I don't, like this, I'm confused as to why.
One of the things I think.
Okay.
Tom says he could do it.
One of the things I think that hurts the process is that, my understanding, the state only gives the exam once a year. So it makes it very difficult for that cycle to come around.
Okay. So we can like.
But there is, the state has formed a commission of experts or, human resources, hiring people throughout the state. And I'm part of this committee that meets once a month. And we're talking about the impossible to hire positions and what we can do. I'll be very honest with you, it's taken a little effort to try to get the focus on tax assessor, but they are focusing on tax assessor. Building department, they have other issues that they're focusing on, but they really are starting to pay attention. The problem is all the control is with the whatever the tax assessor group is, and they decide when the tests are. And you should understand that a lot of those folks make a lot of money as consultants throughout the state. So there's an vested interest. I'm not saying there aren't good people doing it, but there's not a vested interest to get replaced. So.
Mr. Pivko.
So if everything goes the way it's supposed to and they start the reval, how long of a process is it? Is it 1 year, 6 months, 9 months?
I would say, do you know what it is? 9 months?
It starts right away, and I think it ends when the grand list is.
So the grand list, obviously the grand list of 2026 is just a year away. So it has to be done by then. All right, but I would say I would guess that they're going to aim to get it done in, a couple months before that, so that we can go through it and evaluate it. Ultimately the assessor gets to sign the grand list. We have somebody in the office who has the qualifications to sign the grand list, but the work has to be done by an outside firm.
Okay, but as far as how many months it takes to do the job?
You're talking probably 9 months.
Okay. And as my colleague mentioned, it would be helpful if people were notified as to what they're looking for. Because I remember on one go-around years ago, the assessor came to my house and he was going to evaluate it quite high. And I said, why? He said, because you just painted it. And I said, well, if I knew that, I would have held off until you took a look at it. So, I mean, is a $2,000 paint job going to cost you $5,000 in taxes, or is it that you built a garage or you put
normally speaking,
that kind of thing?
A lot of what they do, look, a decent amount of what they do, and what we're trying to catch up on even right now, is going through permits. You get permits and COs even before there's a revaluation. We have the right to increase somebody's assessment based on the addition that they made to their home. So, have you painted your house this week?
I'm not going to paint mine until 2027. Well, let me ask.
I don't think your house
God bless
requires
you.
paint, does it, Mr. Chairman?
Don't drive by. I don't want to be embarrassed. I do have a question. So if it could take 9 months for the company to compile the grand list revaluation, we wouldn't make October 1 this year when it's actually due.
Correct.
Okay.
And they aren't, none of the people that have been interviewed have any anticipation that they could get this done for an October 2025 grand list. Just can't happen.
All right. Mr. Cinto?
How much time do they need? Is there time built in for like people questioning it?
Yeah, what happens is,
I forgot what the word is,
everybody
but-
has the right to go to the Board of Assessment
Yeah,
Appeals.
All
right, when you get your
Right.
assessment, there's a process. You can go. There's a 3-member Board of Assessment Appeals that sits in the town, and you have a right to go to the Board of Assessment Appeals. If they grant your application, your appeal, then that changes that corrects the assessment for the coming year. If they don't, then you have a right to appeal to the Superior Court.
That time has to be built into the whole process.
Well, that's not going to be
also.
built into the process.
Oh, you just finish it, then you appeal it
Yes,
later? Okay,
Yes.
thanks.
I'm sorry. Ms. Isaac, go ahead.
For Tom? Thank you, Dan. Just related to what you were saying before, is the main reason, over here, sorry.
Oh, yeah, just
I
like
do that with my father-in-law, like,
Yeah.
me. Is the main reason the annual testing, or are there a variety of reasons that many towns are having this issue?
Oh, there's a number of reasons. Number one is that there's 169 municipalities, and there are not 169 certified tax assessors. That's a simple one. After that, you have like an older population of tax assessors, and so a lot of them are rotating out, and there's nobody anywhere encouraging. Like, there's not a course at Sacred Heart. There's not, none of that exists, and so there's nobody backfilling. And so what happens is that people who are real estate agents or somehow in the appraisal business, they start to work for whatever reason. They don't want to do it anymore. They can't afford to be a real estate agent. So what they do is they then go into an assessor's office somewhere and then they work their way up, and eventually they take the exams. And you have to take 2 exams, by the way. There's a CCMA 1 and a CCMA 2, and those are each only offered once a year. So you take 1 exam and you say you failed the first time, so then it's another year. So then you pass the 1, and then there's another year before the opportunity to pass 2. So you know what I mean? It is not fundamentally made to replace people regularly.
So is the group that you're sitting on, is that what they are dealing with how do we get to encourage more people? Is there something that, like, a body like ours for multiple towns could be working to, who do we write to, who do we contact, how do we change the system?
Yeah, there's lots of conversation about what the best tact would be. Like, would it be a better thing to force multiple testing per year? Would it be better to incentivize colleges to have these courses and do that? That's the conversation. But there's a number of these positions. It's not just a commission that's talking about tax assessors. It's talking about a lot of different jobs. So, and those things move like molasses. So they did not propose anything for tax assessor for this legislative session.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And it frustrates me as much as you think it frustrates you. Just want you to know.
If I could just make one other point. We have utilized the services of certified assessors on a consulting basis to come into the office over the last year or more to help us, to give us the background and to basically to assist and to direct the operation of the office so that we have moved along smoothly despite the fact that we don't have our assessor. I think the first selectman has something she wants to say. We'll defer.
So when the process does begin, every property owner will get a letter home to them with the process. And That will be posted on our website, the tax assessor's website, and updated as often as needed, so that the process will be there. And if people have questions, they can go there first, and of course, they can always go to the tax assessor's office if they have other questions. So it's a long process, but we do have people in that office, and as Dan said, we will have consultants if necessary if we still can't hire a full-time assessor by the time this starts.
Any questions? I know the last time, I think it was 2021, our reval came up, and the vote was taken to postpone it a year. And in that year, there was a large rise in residential values while commercial values were falling. I don't see anything different in this scenario. Certainly in the last 3 or 4 years, the trends have continued. And a reval appears, from my view, that it will heavily impact proper homeowners in town. That'd be another large shift onto residential property owners. I don't know what we would do if we postponed it a year, if those circumstances might ameliorate somewhat or not. Did you have a thought on that?
Well, it's like we often say, none of us have a crystal ball with the economy, so don't know what's going to happen. It could continue to escalate. The homeowners, the residential prices, and commercial could stay steady or could fall. It could go up. We just don't know. But we're not the only community that has done this in the past number of years. Stratford did it last year along with Derby, and I know, Mary, if you have that list, in 22, 23, other communities did the same thing. And most communities that have gone through the reval, whether it's either on time or delayed, have suffered the same impact that we did. It is not because of our community, their community, it's just the economy. It's driven by what's happening and forces that we can't control. So I don't have an answer. I don't think anybody has an answer to that question.
Just a concern.
Yeah, granted.
I do have a legal question.
I can't help you with that, but he can.
I know the state statute allows municipalities to phase in revaluations, reassessments. Are not favored generally because they create other issues. My question is, if we voted this resolution and postponed for a year, would we have to adopt a phase-in tonight, or could we address that another time?
That would have to be addressed another time. I'm not sure that again, you got to get the phase in, and it is, sometimes it becomes like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It's just, you have to take a look at what the numbers are and see whether it makes any sense to do it. Until we have that, we don't know.
Well, I think the idea behind it is if you got if you're going to experience a 10% tax increase because of the dramatic increase in value of your property, the town could phase it in over 2 years, where you would pay basically 5% the first and the additional 5% the next.
No, I understand that.
Break it in.
One way or the other is going to catch up with
I guess it remains to be seen.
Do you want to say something?
We did look at that phase in the last time, and did have some consultants look at that, and basically told us for that particular year not to do it. And there's also an impact on your ECS grant funding as well that you have to look at. It isn't just, you get the phase in and you just, take it and use it that way. It does have impact on some of the other things that the town gets from the state. So,
Can you explain that?
No.
No.
I just don't. I just know that there is an impact on the grants, but certainly the consultants will be able to explain that because they did say that they would come and do a presentation, so those questions can be asked. But we don't have to do that, as Dan said, and he's absolutely right. You don't have to make that decision today, and you wouldn't want to because you want to see the results of the reval.
Mr. Dorsey?
Just a quick question. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Did we budget for consultants and then someone in the assessor's office, or do we think it'll need
So we have a budget for a tax assessor in the office that's not being used. We have 2 assistant tax assessors. So yes, we have budgeted money if we need a consultant. And we also budgeted for the company that's going to do the reval. There's $150,000 in this year's budget. There's $150,000 in next year's budget, and then the following year we'll budget for the final $150,000.
Just want to be sure, because I know there were mailings. I just want to be sure that we're covered as a whole.
Oh, yes, yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Is my math right? 450,000 for the evaluation company?
I'm sorry, there's feedback.
Yeah, is it 450?
It's somewhere around 400.
Yeah, it's me.
Aliens. Yes, Carl,
Yes.
450,000.
Yes, okay. Right. Any other questions, comments?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to call for a 5-minute recess.
Okay, we'll recess for 5 minutes. All right, we're back on the record. And we're dealing with Resolution TC 30-147. Do we have any further discussion or comments, questions? All right, I will then call for a vote on this resolution. All in favor, show of hands, please. Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? All right, that resolution passes.
Through the chair, can I make a motion for emergency legislation?
Yes, you may. Is there a
Second.
second? Vote on emergency legislation. Do we really need it?
You need it.
We do need it? Why do we need it?
You wonder why we need it?
Yeah. 2026 is,
Because we need the company that's chosen to move forward quickly.
we're not hiring them though.
What's that?
We're not hiring them.
What do you mean we're not hiring them?
You're
we're
hiring them,
authorizing-
we're not.
We're authorizing, I understand that. We're
I'm sorry, they
authorizing,
are.
if you don't want,
Okay.
the motion's been made and seconded, so if it fails,
Wait
it
a minute.
fails.
Wait a minute, I'm the chairman. I'm asking why. It's open for discussion. Okay. All in favor of emergency legislation? Raise your hands, please. Anyone opposed? Okay, that is unanimous. I believe that concludes our agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
Second? All in favor? Thank you. Have a good month. Happy Father's Day. Happy Flag Day. Happy holidays coming up.
Graduations.
Graduations.
See you.
Yes.